President Trump says he wants more movies made in America, but his proposed new tariffs could actually grind Hollywood to a halt. The president floating the idea of 100% tariffs on all foreign made films. How it would work, still unclear, but it could mean fewer movies from Tinseltown and higher ticket prices for moviegoers. Chris Fenton has written the book Feeding the Dragon on how Hollywood does business in China. He's also a film producer and just so happens to be joining us from North Carolina, where he's filming Bad Counselors. All right, we appreciate you coming to us right off the set, Chris. You know, when you first heard about this proposal from the president, what was your reaction?
Well, of course, there was a lot of shock and awe, but it's not super surprising given a lot of his campaign rhetoric going into the election. I will say, on a good side for anybody in the entertainment business, whether a Trump supporter or not, the fact that he pulled the fire alarm and made the American public aware of this issue, because this is something that we've been aware of for a long time inside the business, but it's never really gotten headlines before. I mean, if you go back to 1994, 4 years after 94 up to 98, we doubled the amount of international production that was done overseas. And to date, we're roughly about 60%. If you look at 2019 alone, we did more than 40% of our movies just in the UK and Canada by themselves. Extrapolate that the rest around the world, and you realize how big a problem this is.
Why do production companies, choose to film overseas versus the U.S.? I mean, for example, what you just the personal example you gave me.
Well, it's obviously money, right? And that's something that we have to pay attention to because these budgets are very large and getting a return on that investment is very difficult. People expect very premium content and it costs a lot to make that. So when you shoot overseas, you're essentially looking at the incentive programs that they have on a national basis. There are 77 countries around the world that have national incentive programs to allure and bring film production over. We have none. So if you look at those national film incentives, those programs, they give you rebates and various other subsidies on top of the currency issues that are very favorable for a lot of markets and the low cost of wages over there. You're looking at rebates anywhere from 20 to 40%. And there's even some individual provinces, say, for instance, in Canada, like Manitoba, that get as high as 65%.
Wow. So you're talking about the impact that this would have on the industry. What about moviegoers?
Well, for moviegoers, they just want a great storytelling experience. So we're always looking to make that premium content at a price that makes sense so that they see the story that they want to see on the big screen, but we can try to figure out how to make the commerce behind it. For instance, Bad Counselors, which I'm here in North Carolina shooting, we have a 25% rebate on all of the qualifying spend that we do here in this state. Imagine if we had a national film commission, something say under the Commerce Department that maybe complemented that 25% that North Carolina gives with another say 10% rebate. Then suddenly you're at the 35% threshold and you're really competing against all these other markets that have been taking this production away.
So, when it comes to Bad Counselors that you're working on right now, are you concerned at all about future shoots, wrapping up the movie, your budget, just with in light of everything that's going on right now? What's worrying you about this particular film, or are you feeling pretty good?
Well, this film really takes place in the United States, which is very helpful. We don't need a particular location in another part of the globe. On top of it, we were able to find a cast that's fully an American cast, and we found a fantastic filmmaking crew that happens to be American, and a lot of them are based here in the North Carolina region that we really like. So we got very lucky there. For post production and various other things, we're going to bring that to Nashville, where the company that I'm a part of, that is the independent financier behind it, called Loam Media, we're building a large campus there to handle that type of post production on a really cost effective basis. So it's all worked together in a very nice way. And hopefully, with a national program combined with some of these state subsidies, and as you know, in California, Gavin Newsom's trying to push some of those initiatives through, we can figure out a way to bring more of this production back, more of this manufacturing back, just like the administration is trying to do in various other industries.
Bad Counselors, good movie. We've all had a bad counselor through our years at camp. Oh, I could name a handful. That's a whole nother discussion. You probably have a few of them in your film. Chris Fenton, we really appreciate your insight. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.